Today, we will be talking about internal validity. We have discussed instrument validity in Chapter 8 and external validity, also called generalizability, in Chapter 6. Internal validity is about the quality of the research procedure. A study with internal validity means that researchers can demonstrate that observed differences in the dependent variable are directly related to the independent variable and not to some other unintended variable. For instance, if we want to know the relationship between gender and the status of behavioral risk, influence of age and other demographic variables need to be fitted to ensure that we are observing the relationship between the independent variable, gender, and the dependent variable, behavioral risk status. Now, we will look at different threats to internal validity. Subject characteristics could involve a selection bias. The selection of people may result in differences either between individuals or groups that are related to the variables being studied. There are different subject characteristics variables, and researchers need to decide which variables may create problems. These variables need to be controlled, otherwise they may explain away whatever differences are found in the study. Techniques are available to either equalize the differences or control these variables. It is common to lose subjects as a study progresses. Loss of subjects limits generalizability and can introduce bias. This is difficult to control. Participants can withdraw from studies at any time, as we discussed in ethics and research. An attempt to eliminate the problem would be to provide evidence that the subjects lost were similar to those who remained in the study. Location threat. The particular location of data collection may create different results or explanation. The best way to control this is to keep the location consistent for all subjects. If this is not possible, researchers should ensure that different locations do not favor or jeopardize the hypothesis. The way instruments are used may constitute a threat to internal validity of a study. Here are examples of instrument threats, including instrument decay, data collector characteristics, and data collector bias. Testing threats are related more to the use of pre-post designed studies. The use of a pre-test in intervention studies sometimes may create a practice effect that can affect the results of a study. A pre-test sometimes can also affect the way subjects respond to an intervention. Instrumentation may permit subjects to figure out the nature of the study, and that will influence the study results as well. History threats involve an unforeseen event occurring during the course of the study. Researchers need to be alert to any possibility of influence that may occur during the course of the study. For instance, we are interested in investigating the influence of teaching format on students' learning outcomes. Students are randomly assigned to different sections of the same course. However, the instructor from the face-to-face section has to offer a lecture online due to his or her schedule conflicts. Change during an intervention may be due to factors associated with the passing of time rather than the actual intervention. Students could change over the course of a study naturally. This is a threat in studies using pre-post data for intervention groups, or in studies that happens over a number of years. The best way to control this threat is to include a well-selected comparison group in the study. Hawthorne effect involves the attitude of the participants. The way that your participants view a study and their level of participation may influence the study results. Participants may perform better based on a feeling of perceived special attention. The opposite may occur with participants receiving no special treatment at all, resulting in poor performances. A remedy would be to provide both groups with comparable treatments and to make the treatment a regular part of the study. A regression threat is possible when a change is observed in a group that has extremely high or low performance in the pre-intervention stage. As with the maturation threat, this can be controlled by the use of an equivalent control or comparison group. Implementation threat means that the experimental group may be treated in ways that are unintended, which could give them an advantage. It can occur in two ways. First, different individuals are assigned to implement different methods, and these individuals differ in ways related to the outcome. When some individuals have a personal bias in favor of one method over the other, implementation threat may occur as well. There are techniques available to control threats to internal validity in research studies. You can standardize the conditions under which the study occurs. You can obtain more information on the participants in the study or try to ascertain whether the results that you find are due to differences in variables. You could obtain more information on the details of the study, and you can make sure that you choose an appropriate design for the research questions you are asking. Please check Table 9.2 for techniques that can be used to deal with specific threats. Finally, many of these threats are applied to longitudinal studies and experimental design studies. You may look into these more carefully if you are planning to conduct studies that fall into these categories. In the exam, I might give you a short scenario and you need to select the corresponding internal validity threat from several options. Thanks for watching this lecture.